My topic is the fractionation of plasma and human plasma protein fraction. So fractionation is nothing but the process of separation. So here, as the title suggests, it is a separation of plasma. So human blood consists of two components. The first one is plasma, and then we have formed elements. So plasma constitutes about 55% of human blood, and this plasma consists of a large variety of proteins, including albumin, immunoglobulins, fibrinogen, etc. And these proteins can be used to develop therapies and vaccines for chronic diseases like cancer, tumor, AIDS, etc. So, as mentioned before, there are several proteins, and one such protein, which is an important protein or a major protein, which is found within the plasma, is albumin, that constitutes about 60% within the plasma. So, albumin is having certain roles. The first one is it maintains the osmotic pressure needed to retain the fluid in the blood vessel. And second one is it acts as a carrier molecule for the transport of less water soluble substances like lipid soluble hormone, enzymes, metal ions, fatty acids, and pharmaceutical compounds. So these are the two important roles of albumin, which makes albumin one of the major protein within the plasma. So the fractionation of plasma involves the separation of albumin. So eventually we are supposed to be separating albumin, which is the protein of interest. So the first practical large scale method for blood plasma fractionation was developed by E.J. Kohn and his colleagues during World War II. So this experiment was done from America, and this process is known as cold ethanol fractionation. So cold refers to the transition of temperature. So there is a transition from 5 degrees Celsius to 3 degrees Celsius, and ethanol refers to the organic solvent used, which is ethyl alcohol. Why? Because we have the term cold ethanol fractionation. So at each stage, certain proteins are precipitated, and finally the protein of interest, which is albumin, is precipitated out in the purified form. So there are certain conditions that we have to take into consideration. The first one is that the process must be done aseptically. It must be done ideally, and it must be done in an environment completely free from microorganisms. Then comes a small picture that represents the ether fractionation of plasma. So when plasma was treated with ether, it precipitated out the fibrinogen. And when the supernatant was treated again with ether, then prothrombin was separated, and from each stages, certain proteins are precipitated, and eventually we'll obtain the protein of interest, which is the albumin. So for the separation, we can use either ethyl alcohol, as mentioned before in Kohn's technique, or ether can also be used. So ether is generally used in the UK. So the next one is the methods for protein separation. So proteins are separated in two different techniques. The first one is salting out. So in salting out, it is one of the oldest technique, and it is not used nowadays. So salting out is a process through which the proteins are purified, and it relies on the principle that when salt is added into the solution containing the blood plasma, the salt attains more solubility, and hence it precipitates out the albumin. So this is the entire principle that revolves around this, and this is something that we have already studied. But salting out is not used nowadays, since high concentration of salt is needed, and the salt removed, or salt precipitated must be removed via a technique called dialysis. So dialysis is in turn a sophisticated or a very difficult technique. So we don't use this nowadays. Instead of that, we are using Kohn's technique. So Kohn's technique, as mentioned before, they make use of ethyl alcohol, which is an organic solvent, and through this they separate proteins. So when compared with that of salting out, Kohn's technique is having number of advantages. That is, the first one is that since they are highly volatile, the solvent could be removed easily. Okay. The second one is since it possesses bacteriostatic activity, it can help to control contamination. And the third one is that since it is liquid, it can be easily transferred. So here also there are something that we have to take into consideration, that is the temperature range whilst doing the technique, whilst doing the separation must be kept around 0 to 5 degrees Celsius. So this is to prevent solvent denaturation of protein, which is something that shouldn't happen. So we have to keep the temperature range around 0 to 5 degrees Celsius. The next topic of mine is human plasma protein fraction. So human plasma protein fraction is nothing but a solution of some proteins which is obtained from liquid plasma. So this solution consists of a mixture of albumin and certain globulin. And human plasma protein fraction is obtained by fractionating pooled citrated plasma. So pooled citrated plasma in the sense plasma which is in turn added with an anticoagulant. So here we are adding sodium citrate as the anticoagulant. So from this pooled citrated plasma we are obtaining this human plasma protein fraction. So for this purpose we'll add stabilizer. So stabilizer is added to allow the preparation to be heated for several hours at a low temperature without the denaturation of protein. So the example of stabilizer is sodium caprolite or acetyl tryptophan. So these two can be added, either of them can be added so that the preparation could be heated for several hours without the denaturation of protein. Then the second one is to maintain the isotonicity, we'll add sodium chloride. And finally, for the storage purpose, the solution is first sterilized by filtration and it is stored. Later, it is stored into MRC bottles. So MRC stands for Medical Research Center, and these are distributed in, or these solutions are distributed into MRC bottles, and after which it is heated at around 60 plus or minus 0.5 degrees Celsius for around 10 hours. So this is done for the purpose of destroying the viruses of infected hepatitis and homologous serum jaundice. So this is why we are heating it at a very long hour, that is 10 hours. And here, even though we can add a bactericide or antibody in this preparation or in this solution, we are not adding neither of them. The reason being, it can give or it can impart undesirable or toxic effect, because of which we don't add any of them. Finally, we have certain characteristics or certain properties that the solution or the fractionated portion must abide. The first one is that the protein content shouldn't be less than 4.3% weight by volume. Second one is that it must exert a colloidal osmotic pressure equivalent to that exerted on a pooled liquid plasma containing 5.2% weight by volume of protein. And the third one is that it must be stored at a temperature range of 5 to 20 degrees Celsius in an environment completely protected from light. And the preparation happens to be clear. The reason being, the fibrinogen is already removed, so the preparation happens to be very clear. And finally, this dried human plasma protein is prepared by freeze drying the human plasma protein fraction. So this is with the topic. So hope you understood. Thank you.